Finally, Sussex titles being stripped after SCOBIE's book Endgame reignites royal row.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the King YouTube channel.
Well, folks, I think the day we have been waiting for literally years now is finally going to come. Meghan and Harry are finally going to lose those titles they had no business holding on to all these years. I mean, they hate the royal family, they have made that much obvious, and it looks like this book that was released by SCOBIE Endgame is going to be the final nail in their royal coffins. The Mail Online is breaking the story with the headline, "Commons will be told to strip Harry and Meghan of their royal titles after the latest installment of the couple's feud with the rest of the royal family." And I am so glad to read this news. I mean, karma has been coming for Meghan and Harry for a while now. They have been failing in everything they attempt. But still, it was bothering so many people that they were still allowed to hold on to those royal titles. They have done nothing but disrespect the monarchy, and it's not right. They are not representatives of the monarchy. They shouldn't have titles. According to the Mail Online, Parliament could consider the nuclear option of stripping Harry and Meghan of their royal titles under bombshell legislation to be proposed this week. They report Conservative MP Bob Seely is putting forward a bill that could deny the couple their Duke and Duchess standing as the royal family becomes increasingly engulfed in the racism row fueled by the pair's unofficial mouthpiece. And reportedly, the Conservative MP, Bob Seely, knows exactly how to do this. He's going to adapt some laws that were originally passed in the First World War to deny enemy German nobles their British titles. So this bill would end up forcing the Commons to consider turning Harry and Meghan into just plain old Mr. and Mrs. Sussex. And this is at a time when Meghan and Harry are under a lot of pressure to break their silence over the claims made by their mouthpiece SCOBIE. Honestly, I cannot understand how short-sighted Meghan and Harry and Scooby-Doo all are. I mean, what did they think was going to happen with this? Come on, who believes that it was an error in the Dutch translation and that's how the names got put in there? Nobody believes that. That is such a load of bull. Scooby-Doo and Meghan worked together to get those names out there. This was 100% intentional. And if they truly believed there were going to be no consequences for that decision, they're even stupider than I assumed. How many years are Meghan and Harry, the Montecito malcontents, going to continue to milk this whole racism row to get attention and money and fame for themselves? It's pathetic. I mean, Harry was the one who also came out and said they never even said the royal family was racist. They were just talking about unconscious bias, like Harry even knows what that is. Let's be real here. Nobody in the royal family ever made any racist comment about Archie, either before he was born or after. I mean, that's assuming he's even real, which I don't believe he is. And look, even if some comment was made that was well-intentioned but came across wrong and Meghan got upset over it, that is no reason to continue to defame the family again and again and again. It has got to end. I'm glad that somebody in Parliament is realizing what a threat Meghan and Harry are to the monarchy and to the country as a whole. Mr. Seely said he had to act because of the attempt to use race to smear the royal family, which he called poisonously insidious. Yeah, poisonously insidious is a great way to describe Meghan Markle herself. That woman is an evil witch. Now, as for Harry, I think in this case he's going along with Meghan's ideas. I don't believe he was the one who wanted to smear his family in this way. And I say that because it was earlier this year when Harry was out promoting his book that he himself said, "We never called the royal family racist, the media did that." Well, we know that he was lying on that, but anyway, still. Meghan is known to be a race baiter. Just think about that incident with Ngozi Fulani and poor Lady Susan Hussey. Meghan has been trying to stir up trouble for the royal family ever since she got together with Harry. And it drives her absolutely crazy that nobody believes her and Scooby-Doo's lies at this point. I mean, she's trying her best to bring down the monarchy and she is failing big time, so she's only getting more desperate and therefore more unhinged. Writing in the Mail on Sunday, Mr. Seely said that while sources close to the Sussexes have stressed Harry and Meghan are not behind claims made in SCOBIE's book, he wrote, "I suspect that few people believe such denials." I mean, of course nobody is believing their denials. What other royal source could Scooby-Doo possibly have? It doesn't make any sense that somebody would give him all this information to make the royals look bad, but to make Harry and Meghan look all virtuous and innocent like a couple of victims of this cruel, cold, racist family. Of course all that information came directly from Meghan and Harry themselves. Mr. Seely added, "Of all the damaging insults to throw, racism is the most poisonously insidious, guaranteed to leave a whiff of stigma and impossible to prove when false. It is the catch-all slur of the modern era." So reportedly, he's applying for his Titles Deprivation 1917 Amendment Bill to be listed on the Commons Order paper next week. And it would resurrect the wartime powers by removing references to enemies and present war. And he's already cleared the wording with Parliament's Table Office, which is responsible for overseeing draft legislation. The Mail Online also points out that politicians usually avoid royal controversies, but the toxic nature of these racism claims has encouraged people to speak out on behalf of the royal family. Tom Tugendhat, the security minister, has also spoken out. He praised the dignity of the King and the Princess of Wales, and he labeled those claims rumor and scuttlebutt. Many of us have been calling for Meghan and Harry to be stripped of their titles ever since Megxit, really. I mean, they already lost the right to use their HRH styling in 2020 when they left the country, when they didn't want to be working royals anymore. It doesn't make sense for them to be allowed to hold on to those titles when they only abuse them. They are not representing the people of Sussex. They're not representing the people of the UK or any Commonwealth country. They represent themselves and themselves only. They live in Montecito, California, and they basically live like celebrities, like Hollywood celebrities, but not very successful ones, to be fair. According to the Mail Online, a Mail on Sunday poll this year found that 51% of people think they should have their Duke and Duchess titles revoked too. I'm not surprised to read that at all. Of course most people agree they should have their titles revoked. They have insulted the monarchy. They have said horrible things about the King, about Camilla, about Catherine, about William, about basically every member of the royal family except for the Queen and Prince Philip. But even though they haven't outwardly attacked the late Queen and Prince Philip, they made the last months of their lives absolutely miserable. They shouldn't get away with that scot-free. According to the Mail, though, the King is expected to consult Prince William this week to discuss their response to the storm after Buckingham Palace said it is considering all options when it comes to a response. But they go on to report it is understood that a formal meeting is not yet in the diary. A royal household source reported undoubtedly they will meet to discuss how best to approach and react to the fallout from the rather tiresome SCOBIE affair. And it is tiresome, isn't it? I mean, it was more than 2 years ago that we first heard these claims in the Oprah Winfrey interview, and since then, it's just been ridiculous. It has been Meghan and Harry's blackmail card that they are holding over the heads of the royal family. They have tried to get them to bend to their will by basically implying that they're going to reveal the names of the mysterious royal racists if they get provoked. Well, at least now they cannot blackmail the family any longer with this information. It's out there. The cat is out of the bag. We know the names, and we don't believe them, so Meghan and Harry have no power at this point. Meanwhile, of course, Scooby-Doo is trying to cover his tracks, trying to cover up all connections to Meghan and Harry themselves. Understandably, people have been asking Scooby-Doo plenty of questions about how exactly those names got into the Dutch edition of the book. He told BBC's Newsnight that he was hurt and frustrated by the week's events, but he said, "It's not for me to apologize because I still want to know what's happened." So Scabies is trying to pass the buck. He's trying to blame somebody else, but it's not working. Already, Buckingham Palace has reported they have been investigating who could have possibly seen that letter from its end, and they reported that it's likely to just be a tiny handful of people. There is said to be extreme confidence that the leak did not come from them. Of course the leak didn't come from them. We know where the leak came from. It's time to stop playing these games. There's no need to beat around the bush in this situation. Harry and Meghan are clearly the ones at fault. I don't know if we're ever going to find out who exactly leaked this information. I sure hope that we do. My guess, though, is that it is Meghan herself. So, a source close to Meghan told the Daily Telegraph it was not leaked to Mr. SCOBIE by anyone in her camp. Alright, so we need to pay attention to the phrase that was used, in her camp. Meghan loves to play games with language like this. Meghan, by saying in her camp, well, she's not including herself. She thinks she's really clever when she does stuff like this, when she basically lies without outright lying. But Meghan, it is still lying. And unfortunately for Meghan, she's not very good at it, so this lie is going to come back to bite her in the bum, and I can't wait. And you, what do you think about this news? Do you think that Meghan and Harry are going to lose their titles? Please let me know your opinion below in the comments section. If you enjoyed our video today, please don't hesitate to like and share with anybody else who would appreciate it too. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.